Dear viewers, I welcome you to Ponkulendran's situation report regarding Sri Lanka. The island of Paradise is now almost lost. Who is responsible for it? Let us not blame the Westerners, the Britishers. They provided us with road networks, railways, police, postal service, education system, so many things. And I saw a video where in 1945, one US dollar was equivalent to 3 Sri Lankan rupees. Now, over nearly 80 years, it has multiplied by nearly 400 times. Who is responsible for it? We wanted freedom. Yes, good. Every country wanted to be independent from the invaders. No doubt about it. When they gave us the freedom in 1948, our currency was much stronger than the Indian currency. No one can doubt it. And we had so much natural resources. I can list them starting from the mineral resources. Even there is oil available in Mana Delta. And more than that, we have tanks, rivers, 105 rivers, waterfalls, and cultivable lands, plenty of lands. And we have lot of fishing harbors. In addition to that, we gave them the, the younger generation free education. Thanks to former minister, late Minister Kanangara. Our illiteracy rate is very low. We had free education, even at the university. You can enter the talented people and they can become doctors, engineers, professionals, and lots of talented people were developed. What is the use of it? What happened to them? What happened to the professionals? What happened to the people with so much skills? Majority of them have migrated. What is the reason behind it? Why is that we allowed them to migrate? What caused them to migrate? Very simple answer. It's the purely the ethnic policy of the majority community. It's just to grab the power and to be continued in the power. It's the ethnic policy that was adopted after the independence and the colonization policy, and also the singular only uh, Buddhist nation policy. You cannot have a policy like that in a multinational country. It's very simple. You have to use the entire communities to develop the country. It's a very simple logic. The northern east, majority of them who live in those are Tamils and Sinhala Muslims, and they are very talented. The British built up a lot of schools in the north, of course, in Colombo and other places like Gaul can be. And one time, all the best doctors and engineers entered from the northern province. And that was one of the causes for bringing in the standardization policy. And also that was one of the reasons for bringing in the, what you call the singular only policy. These are all short-sighted thinking. Just to grab the power, deceive the masses, and grab the power. So the outcome of that was frequent ethnic riots, and also as a result of the suppression of the minority, the Tamil Tiger movement started its rebellion. It started in 1970s, I think, and for 30 years they built and they were fighting. And that was the main first cause for the economic disaster of the country. They fought the war with the help of 22 countries and won it. No one will give the arms free. No one give the support free. They gave all them for money. From where did they get the money? They got it from by taking as a loan. And they found it very difficult to pay back that loan. That was the root cause of the problem. And the former LTT leader said, you will see the impact of this after the war if you win the war. And what he said was perfectly right. Now only some Sinhalese intellectuals are mentioning about that. It's too late. The second part of the whole thing is the corruption. The corruption started gradually after the independence. It's in the government service. It's high in the among the parliamentarians. It's very high among the ministers, and they amass the wealth. If you go and look at their wealth, it's in billions of dollars, and they don't declare their assets to the parliament. I happened to go through the directory of the all the 125 MPs, and I was very much surprised to see some of the MPs don't have even O-level qualifications, ordinary level qualifications. Those are people who became Minister of Industries and they become a shout now. They are communal-minded people. The minister who starts with the letter W, oh God, he talks a lot. He jumps from party to party. He's an opportunist. He's also one of the guys who was standing behind uh, uh, president, like his Pandankare, I may call it. And now he left the party. He was thrown out, and he is now talking against the rebels who are at Golface, the protesters, saying that they are hooligans and they are drug traffickers. Who is he? He has two cases. His wife is now in jail for 2 years, and his case is also pending. What right has he got to talk about it? Similarly, we have few MPs who are criminally convicted. One was that guy from Kurunagala who was involved in it. His case is now pending, and he is sure to end up in the jail. Similarly, we have MPs who are hooligans, who are drug traffickers in the parliament. We can't have a country like that. We need intellectuals, professionals, and dedicated and patriot in the parliament. They are not patriots. The people who have the dual citizenships are not patriots. You have an American citizenship and a Sri Lankan citizenship. Can you call them the patriots? No. And they have swindled the money. They are going to invest it in foreign countries like America and Western world. The cut of corruption is at the top level. The second aspect of it is the political dynasty. Political dynasty is one of the reasons for the downfall of this economy. All these the people, the younger generation and the intellectuals and the villagers now realized it, and that is why they are fighting it for the last nearly 70 days in Gulf is Green. But that is not going to solve the problem because we are about $51 billion in debt. It's not an easy thing to get rid of that. How long can India help? How long can few countries help? China may use that opportunity to start some projects in Hambantota, the airport and the harbor, and that is oh God, that was not a viable project, and that Hambantota airport is just idling there. The harbor is not generating any revenue. Now they are the Lotus Tower. Why? And it is now they are finding it to bring in people to occupy that and get some revenue. These are projects that have been started and a percentage has been taken as commission. And there are so many roads that have been started and they have a commission on those roads. Instead of that, they should have used to develop the I recall the economy in developing certain places like the harbor of KKS and the airport in Jaffna, by which you could bring in traffic from expatriate population straight through Chennai to those places, and also traffic from Chennai and from India, South India, and even Singapore and Malaysia can be taken from there, and dollars will flow in. Because they didn't want to expand that airport that was idling there for a long time. This is a short-sighted policy. And even the KK's port, they should have developed that port. Even coming into the road between Manar and Putlam, that road is been neglected. Only up to Marichikatti that road is there. It doesn't go up to I think Kudiramale or somewhere there, Aripu. That road is a very vital road because that cuts down the distance by about 96 miles from Colombo to Jaffna rather than going through Antajapura to Jaffna. So 96 miles means you are saving on the gas, you are saving on the time, and those areas can be developed within the coastal region. Because it's coming in the northern province, they don't want to develop it. This type of short-sighted policies are very bad. Even the road linking Trincomalee to Jaffna through Trincomalee, Mullaitivu, there should be a bridge. They haven't put that bridge. You have to take a ferry and cross it. There should be a straightaway link from if you are traveling from Jaffna to Trincomalee to Betikalo, rather than going through a roundabout distance. They should go along the coastal region, and you can cut down the cost of traveling and also the time of traveling. We save energy on that. And you can go up to Panama from Jaffna along the coastal region, the way on which the Kadragama pilgrimage take place. Now, there are so many other things like the cement factory in Jaffna after the war was not developed. They were importing cement. The Parandan chemicals was not developed. The Vadachena paper factory was not expanded. There's a shortage of paper. The minerals, there are lots of minerals. Illuminite factory was not developed. Graphite factory was not well developed. So many other minerals not developed. More than that, it's a very surprising thing that Sri Lanka is importing chilies, potatoes, tin fish, dal, rice from other countries. What a joke it is. All this can be produced in our country. One time, the northern province, they produce potatoes, onions, chilies in plenty. That's a very cultivable land in Bani and Jaffna and even the eastern province. But the country was not prepared to do that. The whole thing is boils down to the ethnically biased attitude of the government. So long as it has been there, the economy will never develop. And it is not so easy for the 51 billion US dollars debt to be paid off over 1 year or 2 years or 5 years. This particular disease, like a cancer, has really gone into the whole body of the Sri Lanka. Now the poor children the younger generations are struggling. In 1983 riots, many Tamil professionals migrated. There was a brain drain. They think that they had done a great job, the Sinhalese people. Now, the karma has paid back. Now, more Sinhalese professionals are leaving. So, who will be left behind? It's the drug leaders and the residues and the useless politicians. The country has gone to this state of affairs. So, the second migration of the Sinhalese professionals is taking place now because I found that the 2 lakhs of passports were issued and people are trying to get out of the country as soon as possible. Now all this is happening due to poor politicians, and I would put the whole blame on that. And also I would put the blame on the voters who voted the present president and the present party of Rajapaksa. They have been deceived using the communal policy. But still there are media, they are supporting them. I was surprised to see this media has to be unbiased. There are so many political murders have taken place. Human rights violations, oh God, this Sri Lanka is topping. And the judiciary, the interference from the politicians. The judiciary has to be independent. The judiciary, if they condemn someone for capital punishment, the president overrules it and then releases him, a drug leader. So many things have been done. Now, if this is the attitude of the Sri Lankan government, the country will never, never improve. The people have to change, the attitude has to change, the ethnic bias has to change, and it has to think about a line where northern east communities have to be given a lot of freedom to develop the countries, their areas. And also the army defense expenses have to be cut down a lot. And so the police expenses. Yes, the former defense minister, sorry, the police minister was talking utter rubbish in the airport. He doesn't know anything about politics. And so was the former small industries minister. He is an uneducated fellow. So anyhow, he has some useless politicians who are there, and they are one of the causes for that. We do have good educated people like electrical engineers, civil engineers, PhD holders, and all. I still respect them when they talk on the parliament. And also, of course, the lawyers who are very good in their arguments to point out the constitutional things that have been violated. But the thing is, what plan is there? It's in a complete mess. So long as the president stays there, nothing could be done. He, if he is really respecting the country, if he is really patriotic, he should bow down and resign. I know he has a fear that if he gives up his president post, he will be he'll be prosecuted, and there are so many charges against him, and that's the end of his life. But he can't do it. He can't help it. He has to answer it. Even one day he has to give up his presidency. At that time, he will be either now he is no longer a U.S. president, and there are also some jugglery to become the Sri Lankan president to get the post of the presidency. And obviously, the Catholic cardinal knows about all what's going on. He is perfectly right in what he says. But some people don't like to talk out. The Buddhist monks are very quiet now. They are also partly to be blamed for it. The Mahasanghas and the people like Jnanasika Thero and Ratnagara Thero, or whatever the names is, they have a very good posh life. They cannot be called them as a Buddhist monk. They don't follow the principles of Buddha, the Lord Buddha. I still respect him, but the Sri Lankan Buddhist monks is not for peace but for violence. Thank you. And this is my view about the economy and present current situation. Pon Kulendran, bye.